Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki
Thank you for a wonderful bhajan. And the next part of the program is, of course, the Bhagavad Gita lecture. To those of you that are new, it's a lecture on the Holy Scripture Bhagavad Gita, which will be given by Manidhara, who is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So please listen attentively, it will be very exciting. Oh yeah. Please come a little closer, because usually during the program there will be a lot more people coming, so just so we are a little economic with the space. Thank you very much.
And we also like to see those we are talking to. That's also interesting. We would once again like to welcome everybody. Are some who are first time here? Are some who are really first time here? Oh, that's very nice.
A lot of people are first time.
Yes, I know this. That's very nice. So we usually at this moment read from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita as it is the basis of whatever we are doing in Krishna consciousness. It's a well-known book. It's considered the ABC or the essence of all what is to be known about spiritual life. There are many scriptures. As a matter of fact, Bhagavad Gita is part of the Vedas. And Veda means a vast body of knowledge. Usually people have a hard time to connect our singing, dancing and feasting with knowledge. Because we don't see it so much in our educational institutions. You don't see actually that you pass by the university and they're all singing there inside and dancing and feasting. Usually these places are quite silent. And when we come out, we don't emanate exactly to excessive happiness. Because we think a lot. So thinking and happiness is in a Western culture usually not connected. Thinking means you are very serious. And when you are serious, you are not happy. You must think about it. So even in India, there are various schools of thought, and this bhakti yoga, what we are practicing, superficially seen, sometimes was considered a little bit like childish. They are just singing, dancing, feasting. Where's the philosophy? Or where is something to think about? But there is lots of things to think about. Bhagavad Gita is a book which carries each single verse in that book, carries very much knowledge. The question is, of course, what is knowledge? We don't consider being expert into parts of knowledge to be knowledge even. I don't have to know how many ants are there in the rainforest in South America. That's not considered from Bhagavad Gita's point of view really knowledge. That's considered just the information of a very questionable value, because we really don't know. And there are so many things we really don't know, but we learn them. We learn them in a school, we learn them in a university. They teach us that if they are a little bit honest, they will say, it could be like that. If they are dishonest, then they say, it is like that. Is it? Really? What is really reality and what is illusion? That in itself is a question to be answered. So Bhagavad Gita is addressing exactly these issues. Like example, what is yoga? Yoga, when we hear about yoga, usually people, the image of a skinny yogi arises in their minds, somebody who didn't eat for a long time. He is sitting somewhere in Himalaya, up there, in a very remote place. And he's meditating. That means he's doing nothing, he is saying nothing, his eyes are probably closed. He looks like somebody completely asocial. He's really renounced. He really renounced everything. Speech, association, possibly he renounced even any emotional expression. So when they see us, they think, I mean, you seriously think you are yogis too? Yes, 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 we are bhakti yogis. And Krishna defines, first of all, in Bhagavad Gita, what is yoga. Yoga, that word yoga, Srila Prabhupada, our spiritual master, gave a very simple definition of yoga. He said, 1 and 1 is 2. This is yoga. Meaning that actually yoga means to link up with or being connected to. That means actually yoga. So 1 connected to another 1 is 2. So this is actually yoga, to be connected to. But to what? There are various ideas. There is generally this idea divided in 2 directions. to be connected to something personal or impersonal. So yoga includes, of course, meditation, and we are all meditating. In that sense, we are all yogis. Why? Because we are all thinking about something. What could be a more intense meditation is a meditation from a boy about a girl, or a girl about a boy. That's called really intense meditation. It can become very intense. So this is practical. So we know how to meditate. A baby is meditating about something to eat. When we grow up, we meditate about so many things. Basically that, where we want to go to. We want to be connected to that place, we want to be connected to that person, and we are very intensely meditating about that. So Krishna describes a yogi, or somebody who truly meditates, as somebody who meditates about a goal, supreme goal. What is our goal? Everybody has some goal in life. That's a very important question. Otherwise we live like animals. Animals, they have also goal, but very simple goal. What to eat, Today I will here sleep. Here I find another male or female, and I will defend myself against others. A simple lifestyle. When you look in the essence, human societies today centered around exactly these four goals. Good eating, good shelter, peaceful way to have sex life, and being protected from others or from dangers. People think this is goal of life. It's a good life. Good life means when you achieve these objectives. But the animals do too, in a much more easy way. They don't even have to pay taxes, and they can peacefully defend themselves. Let's say like in India you are a cobra, your defense is automatically secured. You can lie in the middle of the street, nobody will touch you. And the cobra needs only to raise the hood, it takes distance. So you are well defended, and eating is always supplied. If it's an ant or an elephant, they all eat. Sex life, there's always somebody out there. Birds are coming, springtime is coming, they are singing. There's no web pages for dating, not needed. They date completely naturally. They just sit on a tree and sing, and the housing is also found naturally. There's always some hole or something like this to lay your eggs and have your offsprings. So everything's kind of provided. Only humans, they struggle with these things. They talk about it, they write about it, they study it even. They study even how to have sex life. Any monkey knows. Monkey is not a big student of this subject, and they are expert. So it's like we make our lives so complicated, completely misunderstanding what really the goal of life is. Because we can do something these animals cannot do. Like example, sit here and hear and ask questions and think about things which animals obviously cannot. That doesn't make them more bad in this, but they are limited. So unless we don't start ask these questions, we are actually remaining on an animal platform. So Krishna defines a yogi, this is like one of the shloka in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna is saying, Atmaupamena sarvatra samam pashyati arjuna sukham vayarivarukam sayogi paramo mata. He is a perfect yogi who, by comparison to his own self, sees the true equality of all beings in both their happiness and their distress, O Arjuna. So usually we live our lives, however we want to call it, But we are living quite selfishly. We are first always concerned about ourselves. Even we don't admit it sometimes. Even a great altruist and a great thinker for the welfare of humanity, he will think, what a great altruist I am. What a great well-wisher I am. What a great thinker I am. It's always me who is in the center, one way or another. That this is, of course, not recognized by people sometimes. They think they are very selfless. But ultimately, there is a level of selfishness which is called false ego. It's an ego of myself, identifying myself with this body. So Krishna is actually defining here a real yogi, not somebody who sits in Himalaya alone. That's called selfish. That's for my benefit. It's for my progress. There's two kinds of progress, material and spiritual. And both can be conducted in a very selfish way. Here Krishna is saying something very interesting. He is saying that you are a real yogi when you see yourself in connection to others. And you can actually really ask yourself, okay, I do suffer now, but who is suffering more? And look, he is suffering also. And why I am suffering? Why is he suffering? What's the cause of this misery? People say, well, it's because of them. And it's because of this political system. And it's because being born in this place. And it's because of money. Good money. We all need more money. We have to borrow more money. And we have to work harder to get more money. But are the rich people really happy? We can look. We can go and look. Are they really happy? We think so. No. I met few very rich people in my life. They were not happy. As a matter of fact, they were so miserable, some of them became devotees of Krishna too. Like, I could mention a grandson, I think, of Mr. Henry Ford, you know, the Ford cars. His name in our movement is Ambarish Das. We have spiritual names. So, you know, he's a very simple devotee of Krishna. You know. Why? Because he's so tired of this. When people come to him, you are Ford. You are Mr. Ford. You know, we would need some money. You know. And wherever he goes, the poor man, he cannot just escape that question. You know, we could make some money or we could get some money from you. It's always about money. He even had a problem when he came to this movement. Because, you know, we don't make any secret out of this. Yes, we need money too. We need money here to maintain this, and we need money. We want to do so many things for Krishna. So we are not hesitant to ask, because we are not doing it for ourselves, really. We are doing it for this mission, for Krishna's mission. Anyway, but even then it became so unpleasant. You know, the devotees was in the very early days of this movement, and they discovered who came in the door? Mr. Ford. And they were going, you know, and we want to build a new temple, and you know, and you could give donation for this, and you could, and he was saying, oh no, not again. I came here to find some peace, and here they asked me again for money. It came so far that Srila Prabhupada himself said, nobody in this movement is allowed to ask this person for money. It's only me. I'm dealing with this. And then that shows the major reason Mr. Ford joined this movement. And there were many others, famous pop stars and famous people, and that's another thing. To be rich and to be famous must be wonderful, isn't it? To go here in Venløse and to go in Copenhagen and people go, oh, can I have an autogram, please? Can you sign here? Oh, this is you! It's amazing! Well, that's called real misery. You cannot find even one moment of peace. We used to have a restaurant in Stockholm, in Sweden, full of famous people at the end. Quite few actually. And they specifically came to our restaurant, first of all because it was vegetarian, and second of all, because nobody cared. Sometimes devotees came to me and they were going, you know who came today? This famous singer. He's sitting there on a table. And I said, well, first of all, I don't know much about famous singers. And second of all, I don't care. He's just a nice person like anybody else. Yeah, so what? So I just came in, I was going, oh, hello, Hare Krishna. How are you? And he was going, I'm really fine here. Nobody knows me. And nobody cares. I can eat peacefully, you know. I cannot do this in other restaurants. So this is all illusions, which people think we should strive towards these things. But actually they experience a great deal of frustration. So Srila Prabhupada explains here in a very interesting way how a real yogi looks like. One who is in Krishna consciousness is a perfect yogi, and he is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. The cause of the distress of a living entity is forgetfulness of his relationship with God. And the cause of happiness is knowing Krishna to be the supreme enjoyer of all the activities of the human being, the proprietor of all lands and planets, and a sincere friend of all living entities. The perfect yogi knows that the living being who is conditioned by the modes of material nature is subjected to the threefold material miseries due to forgetfulness of his relationship with Krishna. And because one in Krishna consciousness is happy, he tries to distribute the knowledge of Krishna everywhere. Since the perfect yogi tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna conscious, he is the best philanthropist in the world, and he is the dearest servitor of the Lord. In other words, the devotee of the Lord always looks to the welfare of all living entities, and in this way he is factually the friend of everyone. He is the best yogi because he does not desire perfection in yoga for his personal benefit, but tries for others also. He does not envy his fellow living entities. Here is in contrast between a pure devotee of the Lord and the yogi interested only in his personal elevation. The yogi who has withdrawn to a secluded place in order to meditate perfectly may not be as perfect as a devotee who is trying his best to turn every man towards Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada gave even a more simple example to make it more simple. He said, when a child is lost on the street, desperate, crying, what is the best benefit for the child? Well, to find the parents and bring him back to the mother or to the father. Then the child is happy. We can satisfy the child in other ways, try. We can buy him a nice toy and we can buy him some nice goodies, and the child will not be happy because it's not at home. Srila Prabhupada gave another even more vivid example. He said, how do you satisfy fish which was spilled out of the ocean on the beach? How do you satisfy such a fish? Well, you can say, my dear fish, do you want some goodies, or try to feed him, and the fish will just flop because it's not in its element. So the best service as a fish you can do is just take him and throw him back into the ocean. And this is called Krishna consciousness. To reconnect, yogi means to connect, to reconnect again to something which is actually quite natural for us. People may think, oh, you mean natural, I should look like you. It's not natural to me. This is just the this is just the external thing. Of course we like to look like that and dress like that because Krishna likes that. And we like to identify ourselves as a devotee of Krishna. But that doesn't mean that a man who goes on the street and let's say he has a beard or whatever, or looks different, that he cannot be Krishna conscious. Of course he can. This is a question of consciousness. We are not the international society for dressing consciousness, but for Krishna consciousness. So anybody can be in any situation Krishna conscious. That means remembering Krishna, remembering his own identity as being part of God, and acting towards that situation where actually the connection takes place through service. That's anyway practical. How do you connect with somebody? How do you connect with your boss? in a work? You serve him. How do you connect to your wife and to your husband? You're serving. How do you connect to your children? Service. Of course, how the children connect to the parents, I don't know, because there's not so much service. Anyway. But ideally, should be there. You know. As a parent, you have to be satisfied with a one-way exchange, usually. Service, and then if they say thank you, you are just completely shocked. You know. So, but the essential thing is that actually the relationship to connect with somebody is service. So what we are doing here in Krishna consciousness is nothing unusual. There is nothing bizarre or extraordinary about